Good afternoon, all of you. I think I am the only odd person over here in the midst of the gathering because by profession I am a law professor and I am here to speak about the role of law in science and technology. And before that, I would like to thank the person behind this entire event who is preparing the G20 countries to be on par with realizing the goals of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals, Srinu Babu Garu, and I am thankful to him for giving me an opportunity to come here and to share some of my ideas. And also, I thank all our friends over here on the dais and also in the midst of the participation over here. So, my dear friends, I represent the VIT AP University, Vijayawada. It's a very 5 years old university. And I would like to just mention that we started with a modest group of some 300 students in 2017. And today we have nearing about 12,000 students. And with a short span of time, we have grown in multiple levels with the support of the government of Andhra Pradesh, and we always acknowledge the support given by the government of Andhra Pradesh. And also our friend Anil Kumar sir has also given his ideas of what VIT we are doing with the government of Andhra Pradesh. And second thing, last 5 years, if I say so, we have been in the forefront of building a scientific society and building a culture of knowledge, embracing the ideology of the technology. And that technology is going to take us to every part of the world and to enhance the quality of the life of the people. So that is why we are encouraging the research. And if I say so again about the research at VIT, last 5 years, we have published more than 1,000 Scopus indexed publications. And also, we talk about the IP, the intellectual property rights. Like today, our friend Anil sir has always mentioned, in his IPS, that is Innovation Society, they supported more than 250 patents in the incubation center. And that's a great number. You all know that. In 2014, Government of India and India, the rate of filing IPs are always around 85 position in the global index. But today, India is rose to the level of 45th position in a filing of the IPs. Yesterday, one of our speaker has told very eloquently, and also the member representing the British High Commission has eloquently told about the India's growth story in the last 7-8 years, particularly with regard to the innovation, incubation, and IP management and IP recognitions. You might be wondering why I am saying all these things. All these things today will have to have a legal basis. Without law, the technology, the intellectual property rights, or the trade development cannot go in the international forum. You must have seen the newspapers when G7 summit goes on, or when WTO ministerial conferences goes on. Before the conferences goes on in the world across, you get to see there are a lot of demonstration from the people of third world countries saying that global inequalities are rising. But thanks to G20, today we are heading the G20. It's a proud occasion to each Indian that we are heading as a presidential position, and to support the idea of G20, today we are organizing these curtain risers and disseminating the knowledge and preparing us to prove a global innovative society. And now Coming back to that, the important points which I would like to just give that, the interface between law and technology. What is the interface between the law and technology? Now today, I will take the first example Professor Narayan Rao Garu has mentioned. India is the pharmacy bowl of the world. I don't know how many of you are aware of it. Sir has given an extensive statistics. If you see that, that was appropriated, tried to appropriated by some of the world companies, but thanks to Indian Supreme Court in 2013 say that no. If you say so that Novartis case, when the case came out from the Supreme Court, the entire international community came up and said that there is no research culture encouraging pharma industry in India. That is what the world told. But today, look at that. Today, we are supplying the generic medicine to entire world in affordable cost for all the life-threatening diseases. And we are protecting and promoting health for all. It is one of the sustainable development goals, my dear friends. And I thank all the pharma institutions in this country and government of Andhra Pradesh and government of India in this particular context for having that kind of an interface between the law and medical technologies and the pharma industry. That is the growth story of India, my dear friends. And now the second thing is that new and emerging technologies and regulatory regimes. Yesterday we have a director representing from drug controller. He's saying that we need to have a kind of a regulatory regime. As I told you that if we do not have the understanding of a law and international law and the policy, we are going to miss the bus. And the journey of development in the workplace. That is why today, again I will take reference from our esteemed colleague from the IIM Sambalpur, Dr. Sujit has mentioned that. Where are we going? And what is the story of India in coming 2030, realizing the goals of the sustainable development? And I consider that today, this particular tech event, which we are celebrating with lots of enthusiasm and also going to continue across the world and will be a kind of a curtain riser and a dissemination for achieving the sustainable development goals across the world and making India as one of the global positioning leader. So that regulatory mechanisms which we need to have. And as a student of law, as a dean of the law school, we are training our students to become a global lawyers. Today, we cannot isolate ourselves. And today, Indian lawyers cannot say that I am not into the technology. Whether it is a blockchain technology or a big data or artificial intelligence and machine learning, everything the law students will have to understand. At the same time, all the technology students must know the basics of the law. That is what we are doing, a unique experiment in the VIT AP School of Law and VIT AP University, and offering all the courses to the engineering students to have this interface and role of law, particularly with regard to the new emerging technology and regulatory regimes. And next, coming to that, is there any existing legal framework for that? Yes, indeed, we have. India is a party to the international trade mechanisms, the WTO and World Intellectual Property Rights. And we have, and our friend Dr. Sahu has already told that, how they are working in conjointly with the World Intellectual Property Organization, WIPO, with Geneva, in his one particular slide. If you are keen in observing, that is where India needs to establish their position as a country of innovation. It's enough we have seen that India is a country of a service provider. Like I will take another example from the dais itself. We have our brother Nakka Om Prakash sir, who has come all the way from US. If you see that, he is today an entrepreneur. And it's a great examples. And also Srinibabu Garu. It's a great examples. We are no more a service provider. We are innovators. We are entrepreneurs. There is a thin line between these two positions. That is why I'm encouraging and telling each one of you in this auditorium and across the state, we must sleeve up ourselves and provide there is a legal mechanism in order to support this kind of environment and ecosystem. And what are the new issues and challenges which we are going to do that? The first one is that a new emerging technology. It is invasive and pervasive. And we need to have the legal regulations for that. I'll tell you one example. By 2025, and we are going to reach 180 zettabytes of data. That means, I don't know how many zeros will be there after 18. And this particular data today, the world countries are fighting for it. India is the biggest contributor to the data. Yesterday, one of the speakers told, Andhra Pradesh is one of the biggest country, the first country, the state, and they are using more than 60% of the people using 5G technology. So if you imagine that kind of thing, this new emerging technology, particularly in the big data, the states are fighting for data globalization and data localization. And if you do localize, you have a data sovereignty and you are going to the global power. For every bit of the data you transfer, you are going to generate the revenues and economy. That is where India is going to have its role after 2025 as a global leader. And by 2030, we are going to emerge as a more than 5 trillion economy, what our Professor Sujit has projected. Because of the data, big data, my dear friends. So to regulate that, we need to have the law. That's where I am here to speak about that. The second one is the space science and technology. My good friend Anil has already mentioned, they supported Dhruv, the private space technology incubation. Today, the space technology, I'm basically a space and aviation law graduate. I did my PhD from JNU on aviation and space law. And today, we are in consultation with ISRO to encourage the private players. Elon Musk, why in the short span of time he has become the world's richest person? Because he started his dream of having space tourism. By 2027, he wants to establish a space cubicle and place the global tourism. Already 1,000 people have registered for that. And today, there are private players from India. A few weeks ago, they sent a nano satellites, information and broadcasting satellites from the Sriharikota. So I appreciate the APIS and its COE for encouraging the new innovators towards that space science and technology. And the space lawyers, we are there in order to formulate the space policy. The 2020 space policy of India is forward-looking and giving an opportunity to the private space players. Now coming to that, pharmacy and law regulatory regimes, as I told you that today, the law is going to play a bigger role to make India's potential position as a global player in the pharmacy market. With the able leadership in the government of India and in the state of Andhra Pradesh, we are going to achieve this particular thing. Like you know that during the COVID-19, within the span of 1 year, we could able to achieve a record break of achievements with regard to the vaccination program for the entire Indians. When COVID-19 broke out, we don't even have the mask to distribute entire the communities. But today, we are the global player. That is the achievement of the government of India today. And today, I'm proudly say that Andhra Pradesh MedTech Zone is one of the best example to support these innovations in the pharmacy. As I told you, India is in the forefront talking about no IP regime for the vaccinations and the vaccines which are introduced by the government of India as well as other vaccine countries, vaccine produced countries. Why? If you put that in a IP, and the companies will get benefit, but the people are not going to get benefit out of it. And India, Brazil is in the forefront along with the South Africa. We are arguing for we need to have a IP-free regime, particularly the vaccination in the global level. That is where the intellectual property regime under the able leadership of our Prime Minister, we are doing that. And that is one of the main target for the G20 summit, which is going to happen in Delhi in 2023 December. And this is a good platform for us to know all these things. And the role of Indian law and interface with the international legal regime. That we have the Indian legal protections with regard to support the efforts of the government of India, be it in new and emerging technologies, pharma industry, and also space technologies and the intellectual property rights. So now the last point which I would like to that, what is the way forward? Like I will take a simple example. Almost all of you have been these days knowing about Vande Bharat Express. Who is the man behind that? Mr. Sudhanshu. And what was his dream? He's about to retire. But he said that during that time, India want to have the bullet trains. The Swedish company said that for 10 coaches, they are going to charge $250,000 for one coach. He said that and I can build within a $70,000 or to $90,000. And government was astonished to say that. Today, it was a realization. And remember one thing, they said that they are not going to transfer the technology, but they only give the order basis all the coaches to us. But today, indigenously, we build that particular technology and we are providing IP interface with that. So the same thing in a space technology, in a defense technology. Everywhere today, we have that particular kind of an interface with the law. We are providing a platform for that. So that is the way forward where we are going to take India. And Mr. Srinu Babu Garu with his organization creating a dissemination awareness across the globe by way of this Global Tech Summit. I deeply congratulate him for becoming a part of this global endeavor. Thank you very much and thank you for your patience.
Thank you so much, sir. That was very valuable. Hope you got a lot from this beautiful presentation. Now I would request Srinu Babu Garu to please honor him. Boys and girls, once again a huge round of applause for the great gentleman who's given a wonderful speech.